So welcome back, guys, and we are gonna be wrapping up our stream very soon, but we still have 2 matches to go, and this is the first one here in the lower bracket, round number 4, and we have gotten our first grand finalist with Ender gonna be playing on, well, the Saturday this weekend, but we're not done yet. We got a PvP and we got ZVZ up for grabs, up in store for you, and this time it's time to crown who can be potentially the new Protoss Emperor. Will it be Bayagster staying strong, being within that top 3 yet again as much as possible, or will it be Pobbes showing up and really proving why he has chosen to go to the Masters Plus bracket instead? Really impressive though, and I've seen a lot of improvement from Pobbes in all honesty. In the Gold Diamond bracket of Quarantine Tournament number 4, a little shaky on a few things here and there, and the problem with Pobbes right now is he is an amazing player in his own right, and he's amazing on both macro and micro, but sometimes he just makes this one big decision that blows up in his face, and then it falls apart there. So if he's able to figure it out from his efforts and his expertise here in the lower brackets, then I really feel that he can go a long way in this set. But a test in front of him is going to be Bayagster, and we already know Bayagster, cool, calm, collected, always potent with any kind of strategy that he can cook up, and he really feels plays so unorthodox in so many ways. This man is always at the very least looking to put you on your toes, and you don't know if he's gonna go for a proper build, if he's gonna go for a build he just made. And the thing about it is, no matter what he does, it's always lethal. It's always something you have to respect, or else you're gonna be in so much of a world of hurts that it cannot even comprehend that why is there a mothership in front of me, those kind of things. Those are the questions that you have to answer against Bayagster. But don't forget, guys, that this tournament wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, Pure PC, as well as Block 101. This is presented to you by DLS Missile, Daks PH, as well as Ayos Buhay Productions. And our first map into the set this time will be, well, one of your standard picks as per usual, and it will be Everdream LE. I don't know if that's a compliment or not to you, Hen, but hey, Everdream LE macro on the small side. But then, there is one thing I always notice in a PvP. There is one thing when you think about PvP, and that is the cheese. When we saw Cannon Rush a while ago in the PvZ, is it that kind of day? Is it gonna be Cannon Rush? Is it gonna be a proxy? We haven't seen too much about it though, and we're gonna be getting into the map very soon. But this is gonna be our first map out of 3. Who will take it? Who will be our Protoss representative? Like we said, guys, it's all about mirror matches today, and it's time to find out who will be the last Protoss standing here. Protoss not having the best day at the office here in Quarantine Tournament number 5. Only 1 representative in the semifinals in Gold Diamond, and it's spicy to see that it's in Masters Plus that we get the PvP instead. But anyway, let's get into the game and let's get into the matchup. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are on Everdream LE. Let's not waste any time because anything can really happen in the PvP. Introducing first the challenger here for the Protoss crown. He is on that purple Zerg, looking pretty regal, looking for a coronation. The risk taker himself, the man who can just move on out. He is on the top right of Everdream, and his name is Pobbes. His opponent, though, here on the southwest corner instead, he's always been into the podium places. He's always been someone to watch out for. He's the granddaddy of so much in the SC2 scene alongside Mr. Coach himself, Blazer. One of the stalwarts of every single game of StarCraft, not just 2, but as well as Brood War. And this time, he's going to be looking to make it yet again with a lower bracket one. He is on your green Protoss, and his name is Bayagster. So here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. We are back into the same old action. And looking into a matchup like this, we will get the twin gateways here from Bayagster. We are going to see the twin gateways from Pobbes. Pretty standard stuff in the PvP so far. So respect begets respect. And it seems like it's 2 Gate 1 Core for our 2 players. For now, though, the thing about Pobbes versus Bayagster is I do see Bayagster doing something a little more zany, more so than Pobbes. I might be wrong about that into this PvP, but from what I've seen, Bayagster is the one who can just do something so out of nowhere, and he can be very creative, to say the least. But we'll find out. We'll find out if this is going to be enough for Pobbes to try and shut down Bayagster, or will it be vice versa? It's all about figuring out what the opponent is going to be doing. It's all about that scout. And speaking to scout, Bayagster seeing 2 Gate 1 Core. Okay, sure. And okay, so Pobbes is already throwing a wrench in my prediction. Because I expect bayagster to do something this cheeky. No, it's Pobbes. He's gonna go for the proxy gateway. I've seen bayagster do this time and time again on bigger maps. And Pobbes is the one ballsy enough to do this on a smaller side. And as I say that, bayagster is gonna be building a pylon there on the west side. And Pobbes would do a really good job if he scouts this out. Because he didn't really go chase down this probe. And since he doesn't see the west side, it should be him at the very least looking to keep an eye out of anything coming his way. But this pylon should be good to go. Warp gate research is starting off here for bayagster. And in all honesty, this is actually a later warp gate than I expected. 2.5 minutes, he hasn't even started yet. Pobbes in the meantime already channeling out this chrono boost there. And since he's going for the proxy gate itself, then this is what it's all about. So what did bayagster do with that money? He does have that work relief by a little bit. He also had that extra pylon, but you gotta say for Pobbes, he did go for the proxy gateway, so it should still be bayagster in the lead here. So an interesting call for bayagster. And he does have the probe here on the east side, but that's pretty much that. Interesting. That warp gate timing has hurt a few players before, and you do want to have as many units as possible, as quickly as possible, to reinforce either line to begin with, as this is just going to be stalkers abound here for Pobbes. I see that this is going to be a timing for Pobbes. If this blows up in his face, is when we see bayagster go for the robo and get that immortal. So Pobbes has to make this decisive already, and having 3 stalkers is a good start. There we go though with the force field on to keep the 1 stalker away. Pobbes right now though gonna be winning out against stalker here on the high ground, and this time gonna be helping out the lone stalker there on the other side. And the problem right now for bayagster, even though he's gonna be able to get the shield battery online, it's still him not in the right spot. Pobbes has to retreat though, has to back on the way. Here we go with more and more of these stalkers. It's time to go to the aggression. Stick stalkers versus 1. And while bayagster is trying to diversify, trying to get more and more of these buildings, it's all up to the units now. bayagster has to go for the probe pull. He is going to get the warp cycle though, good to go. But he's only going to be able to get how many stalkers into this one? 1 or 2. And that's just going to be that. Pobbes is already on the inside. He's knocking at the doorstep of bayagster. And this is just going to be so difficult for bayagster to hold against the unrelenting onslaught that is Pobbes. Still more and more stalkers being warped on in. Here we go with another cycle here from bayagster though. He's trying to keep on alive. Shield battery gonna be there. And this is bayagster desperate to keep the economy in check. Luckily for him though, he has workers to spare. So he can go for the probe pull and he can actually keep up in the economy at the same time on 1 base. But in the meantime, it's gonna be Pobbes looking to future-proof, looking to go into macro after all of this. He doesn't know if he's gonna make it or not. And bayagster, even though he chrono boosts out the robo facility, he's not building an immortal whatsoever. What's happening here for bayagster? It seems like he's gonna go for the warp prism instead, as at the same time, what's the big play here for bayagster? No immortal into play. He's might be going for the macro here, going for the micro rather with the warp prism, but it doesn't matter because Pobbes is already there. He is cleaning up house, and I do believe this might be it. This is going to be so instrumental for Pobbes to take this victory here. And now he has worked so hard to play this aggro, and he is doing it and more. Probes is getting shut down again and again. And as soon as bayagster exposes that this is a warp prism, I feel like Pobbes is going to be like, oh, I win. Oh, I win. There you go. Warp prism is going to be online. GG is called. And that is that. Ah, the mind games there. What's happened there though to bayagster? He chrono boosts out the robo facility but doesn't build anything with it. And then he goes with warp prism. He's trying to bake out his opponents. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be a little more immortal, guys. I'm gonna be a little immortal. This is gonna be an immortal, but no, sir. It's a warp prism instead. And that is that. bayagster will fall down. Pobbes with the proxy gateway, proxy warp gates, and with the stalker onslaughts. It really feels like it's a timing push no matter what, even though it's very cheesy. The fact of the matter is that when the immortal is online and you are stuck on a really bad spot and the shield battery is there for the defending player, then you're pretty much screwed, because that robo facility timing is so important in the PvP, and it can really make or break the game. But Pobbes is able to make it to the finish line at the right time, and he will take the lead in this series. Well played there by Pobbes. PvP is always an interesting sight to behold, and you can see the most interesting antics to begin with. But Pobbes decides, hey, I'll build stalkers, and that's my game. I'm good to go. So you already know that Pobbes is feeling confident after that one. bayagster, in the meantime, I've never seen this guy rattled no matter what. He plays against the best, he plays against the newbies, and it is still the same kind of experience no matter what. So we're gonna be going straight into our second game, and this one is gonna be Eternal Empire this time. And now that I've seen Pobbes do something cheeky, I do believe that he's going to play more macro here, because bayagster is the one who has a tendency to do something cheeky on a map like this. Proxy Stargate and Proxy gateway with adept timing pushes is the way to go a lot here for bayagster. It's something really common from him. He skips the robo facility and just decides to go for a glaive opening out of nowhere. So we'll find out if the extra space will help out bayagster to take a map here, or will Pobbes be able to wrap it up with a 2-0 and move on to the next round of the lower bracket. Let's get into the game though, and let's see what these two players have for us. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are again in our PvP. A rare sight to see in the Masters Plus brackets, but we're having it and more. You can already see the difference compared to gold to diamond. But introducing first, here on the southwest side of Eternal Empire, he is one map ahead, and he is on that purple Protoss. His name is Pobbes. And his opponents, here on the top right instead, he is gonna be, at the very least, looking to try and go for the comeback. Can he make it happen, though? Can he actually stand the test of time this time? He is on that green Protoss, and his name is bayagster. So here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Sticking on with this PvP. We are not done yet in the quarantine tournament number 5. And it really goes to show that the competition absolutely fierce in every single part of the brackets. Don't go away though after this game, because we still have another game perhaps in the best 3. And we still have another series, which is going to be a ZVZ. And if you are either an Azin or a Sifu fan, you're going to be liking that one, that's for sure. ZVZ, PvP, ZVZ. All about mirror matches today in the Masters Plus bracket. Interesting cancel though there from Pobbes. Going to be relocating that pylon all the way on the outskirts. So interesting spot here for Pobbes. You know, he's going for a standard play with the gateway, but with a low ground pylon. I wonder what this is going to be all about. Bayagster though, in the meantime, he is going to be scouting on the round, and I think the plan here for Pobbes is this pylon will see any kind of potential proxy, because this is a common spot for a proxy here, especially if you don't keep up the third base. This is also another good spot all the way in this area, but for now, Pobbes just wants to make sure that bayagster isn't going to do something cheeky too close to his base. And hey, it provides supply. Can't really go wrong with that. The bayagster though, Corona boosting out stalkers. Now, I've seen a debate before that Corona boosting out units on a PvP isn't really too important unless you really get caught behind. Because if you Corona boost out a unit, then you're going to get it out, sure. But you can use that for Warp Gate, and the fact of the matter, on a big map like this, Pobbes does not need to overreact. He has these gateways good to go. He is going to have his own stalkers online. And bayagster is just basically looking to respond quickly, if ever. So, an interesting call there for bayagster. I really don't agree with it per se. I'd love to see him use the Corona boost onto the Warp Gate instead. And yeah, it is what it is though. I've seen, of course, the 1 gate Corona boost before, especially in other matchups. But here in if you see 2 gate 1 core, you guys are just pretty much at the same pace, especially in a map like this. So, you know, anyway, you know, it is what it is. Give me your thoughts, especially if you are Protoss players. I'm a Protoss player, and I was convinced to stop doing that in PvP. But in any case, it seems like both of our players are angling to go for a natural very, very soon. But bayagster is the one, though, looking to go for the robo facility first. And Pobbes is the one taking the risk to get the Nexus instead before the robo itself. Now, this does give a little bit of a timing here for bayagster if he decides to go for the aggro itself. But for now, shield battery gonna be online. Very defensive play here from bayagster, and even onto the main base as well. Interesting call here. So I like this a lot for Pobbes, and the fact of the matter this time is bayagster's proxy pylon is spotted. A while ago, it wasn't seen, but it was a non-factor. This time, it'll be saying goodnight and goodbye, and Pobbes is gonna be a really good spot. He did Corona boost out there because he saw the pylon immediately. Has to make sure that he's gonna have an extra unit into play. Besides all of that, there we go with the robo facility good to go. Second base going to be up and running very, very soon here for Pobbes, and he can actually start building on the probes there. bayagster though, in the meantime, respecting that natural, going to be doing the same. But you can see that Pobbes is a little bit ahead by this point. He's getting the Warp Gate research earlier. He's going to be having that second base up and running. And I feel like the confidence from Pobbes is absolutely brimming so far. But still, it's your PvP that we're going to be getting macro, so I think the gameplay will be relying on the Stalker and Immortal for the first 5 to 10 minutes here. It still can turn into Disruptor Warfare though, or Colossi if need be, but it's still all about Pobbes and bayagster trying to juggle how the Stalkers and how the Immortals are gonna move. Question is though, is either side gonna go for the Twilight Council? Because I'm looking into that one, and I see neither Pobbes nor bayagster do it per se. Usually you want to get that Twilight Council after the rowboat to try and get the Blink Stalker on. and have a different element into the horizon. But in a case like this, Pobbes is gonna go for a gateway. Pobbes is gonna go for the forge, and he's looking to upgrade a more A move based composition rather than actually teleporting here and there. So the calls are pretty standard so far. Bayagster, though, looking to play very defensive again with shield battery, and he's getting more of the workers. But Pobbes is doing a really good job because a while ago, he was the one down on the worker count. Bayagster was ridiculous in keeping the workers into play, that he had enough probes to pull from the main base and even still have a good mining economy in behind. So this time, though, Pobbes is saying, I can do it even better, and he's trying to get more and more of the economy here. And now, slower pace game go, both sides respecting each other. And they know that if one makes a misstep here, they're going to be out of this game. But so far, so good. This is what PvP is all about. Getting the Stalkers, getting the Sentries, getting the Immortals, and seeing how the March happens. Big map, though. And I really feel like if you're going to be the one on the offensive, you have to have a War Prism. And Pobbes is already going for that one. There we go, though, with the Adepts trying to go for the harassment. Pull of the probes to keep them alive, but Bayagster is still not going to be able to get as much economy as he would like. Here comes the army, though, trying to get in the way. War Prism is ready to go for another cycle very, very soon. And Pobbes is actually maximizing value here. 7 probes have already gone down. Pobbes is going to get an 8 there. This is really good here for Pobbes. He's already up on the worker count, and he stays ahead in the lead with an attack like this. They gotta give a lot of respect here for Pobbes. Even saves the adept for a rainy day. This War Prism is just being such a big bother. With +1 also going online, that can make a difference. But for now, Bayagster is gonna be hunting for that War Prism. He's gonna go play that Phoenix. It can allow him to easily give chase to it. But the Void Ray can be a better damage source to begin with. We'll see though what War Prism is all about yet again. Part 2 of the drop. Here comes the Devs already onto the corner. Does Bayagster see this? No, he doesn't. And Pobbes knowing exactly where his opponent is positioning. This is really smart here from Pobbes so far. Still though, for the time being, finally we get the Twilight Cancel from Pobbes. We are gonna get that +1. And the Shades looking good to go onto the main base again. The harassment is there. The hassle is there. And Pobbes is still going at it yet again. But that's not really the most effective probe attack this time. And Bayagster is trying to juke out his opponents. Pobbes doesn't really know per se which Phoenix is real. But eventually though, the War Prism will fall. And now Bayagster has had enough of these antics. But while all this is happening, Pobbes is basically playing macro. He's happy to build up bases, get more of these gateways, and with as much of the economy he's getting right now, as soon as his third base is up and running, I really expect him to go for the push. Question is though, what kind of comp is he going to be running? He's going to go for the Blink Stalker. Of course, he's going to add Immortals. He's going to get +2 soon. And in behind all of this, it's the Bayagster Classic. So Fleet Beacon going to be going online. You already know what this is going to be all about. This has to be a mothership to try and cloak everything, and it can be a game changer in all honesty. Cloak does become such a big surprise. If you get rid of a service when you have your own observer, then you already know what to target, and suddenly invisibility becomes invincibility for all the units down below. Mothership itself is a tanky unit, and Time Warp can be helpful in certain situations. Pobbes though, he doesn't see it! He doesn't see it! And this is going to be big in all honesty. If he doesn't scout out this Fleet Beacon, that can make a big difference because this is going to be going online. But here comes Bayagster right now. Going to be sending his own forces as well. And this is a cheeky Fleet Beacon, good sirs. This is going to be pretty interesting to say the least. It can also be that carry rush though, and we have seen it become a lot more common in a few matchups here and there, especially PvP and PvZ. But hey, Fleet Beacon, guys. Let's see what this is all about. But I gotta tip my hat to Pobbes here. His ground forces are looking scary. We will see Bayagster they'll go for a ninja expansion all the way on the northwest side of the map. But with what Pobbes has right now it feels like he's gonna be very confident to go on the march. He's gonna have that +2 soon. He has the Blink online already. And he is just good to go to do even more. But there you go. It's carriers actually arriving here for Bayagster. He's going to be amplifying whatever he has to try and go for a few pickoffs here and there with the interceptors. And the fact of the matter is, Stalkers are good anti-air wise. But the problem is, if you're going to A-move them, you're going to be shooting against those jet planes rather than the carrier itself. A Blink can be a game changer. They can go for a push on forward. And the problem right now for Bayagster is, with that Blink upgrade on Pobbes' side, he needs to make sure his frontline stays alive to force out the punish if need be. The most interesting part is both sides basically has a win condition in this fight. For Bayagster, it's to keep the carriers alive. Here for Pobbes, is to overrun the ground to allow him to shoot down the air. And only time will tell, and only this next fight will tell what it's going to be all about. +2 though for Pobbes, good to go. In the meantime, we are going to be seeing what this one is all about. And I do believe that, sorry about that, guys, as Pobbes and bayagster gonna be looking to make it happen. These hotkeys are just way too close from each other from time to time. But look at those upgrades now. +1 gonna be good to go. We do see bayagster here setting on up yet again. Does have a Phoenix here to actually try and go for a quick little Graviton Beam onto one of these Immortals if need be. But Archon's now also into play. Pobbes right now trying to get the biggest and baddest ground-based composition he has. And how many gateways does this guy have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 4, 13. 13 on 3 base. This is time. It is time. It is time for him to go for it. He's also going for a 4th base here and now, but Pobbes is on the hunt. He's feeling the heat. He's feeling that he can actually get this win, and he can wrap it up on the silver platter if need be. The Zealots are going to be charging on in. That's such a good timing at that, because he gets the charge slot at the right time there. And the blink onto the high ground. This is Pobbes just harassing the main base already. Still, though, bayagster has to respond. These are the carriers looking to arrive. There we go with a quick little guard shield to try and keep the test on. But bayagster fending them off with the interceptors. And this is Pobbes just overrunning the natural. This is what we were talking about. This can be Pobbes' show if he wins the ground game already. And on to the lower ground. He's doing it and more. Zealots just cleaving on through against the next point. There we go. bayagster sticking by the ramp so far. But Pobbes is losing a few of the Zealots here and there from the interceptors. And he's going to be backing on out instead. But the damage has been done. 26 probes and counting already going on down. These are still Zealots in the main base as well. Distraction is on point. And bayagster will catch out an Immortal, sure. But that's pretty much it. And look how much Pobbes has done against bayagster in that one attack. And that is looking really, really solid here for Pobbes. Well, bayagster has gone basically into a carrier rush situation. It has to be him getting the value here. But Pobbes has gotten maximum quality from his ground forces. He has the blink, he has the +2, he has the Archons, he has the sentry in the middle of everything, and he has the charge lots all good to go. The upgrades are good to go here for Pobbes, and can he make it happen? As it is going to be high time for bayagster to try and stay alive. Carrier's going to be into the front line, but that's what we were talking about. There we go, the blink forward, and this is just Pobbes winning it out. Dominance on the ground, allowing him to be crowned as the next Protoss champion here. He is going to be our top placing Protoss, that's for sure, but he has so many more Zerg players to contend with, and GG is called. Pobbes will move on to the next round. That is just what Focus is all about. Pobbes getting the lead from the get-go, unpunished with the Nexus, shutting down a pylon, building a bigger and badder economy, going for the Forge, going for the Twilight Council, and winning it from there. bayagster, in the meantime, a lot more passive than we would expect, trying to go for the Ninja expansion to keep up the economy. But no, sir, Pobbes sees that one coming. And that's the thing about Pobbes. He's been scouting really, really well. That pylon on that 3rd base, already making sure that there's not going to be a proxy there. Checking the corners just in case. He knows exactly how bayagster will play. And sure, I expected the Mothership there from bayagster, but going for the carrier is not a bad idea. But like I said, in this matchup, if those carriers are caught by the Stalkers, then that is that. But if the carrier is going to get maximum DPS and stay alive, then you can really see where Pobbes can struggle. But you know, the fact of the matter is, it's Pobbes who wins it out, gets rid of the workers, amazing 2-prong attack on the main base and the natural, then defending against the all-in push there from bayagster allows him to move on to the next round, and his opponent will be whoever wins our next match, which will be Azin versus Sifu. But that is that. And for anyone who probably doubted Pobbes moving on from gold to diamond to, well, the Master Splits bracket, there's only one thing I gotta say to you. He has proven he is here to stay, and he deserves to be in the Masters parts of this tournament. Well played to Pobbes. Amazing stuff. We have a new Protoss champion, but it's still not done. Remaining members. Remember, remaining players in our bracket, guys. There are 5 players still. We have Ender, we have Nux, we have Pobbes, and then we have Azin and Sifu. And guess what? 4 of them are Zerg, showing how dominant Zerg can really be in the Masters Plus bracket. But we are not done yet. We are going to be going into our last and certainly not least series very, very soon. We'll take a quick little break, and up next, we have Azin versus Sifu. We'll see what Jihen is all about here, and we'll see if Sifu, with that NA experience, what can he prove against a young gun trying to figure something out. Find out very, very soon. Be right back after a bit. This is your Quarantine Tournament number 5 from StarCraft PH.